first travel contract, homebody, me.
Yeah. Do you feel like they talked about travel in physical therapy school much?
No. We did have a couple like guest speakers come in that wasn't on class time. It was like extra where they talked about travel. But usually the push in school is go get experience, maybe even get out of school and then get right back into school and like become a fellow or something. So there was not a whole lot of information. Ryan researched for like two years straight and was just feeding me all of the perks about why we should do it.
It was very different when I was looking into travel. There started to be like content out there. You know, our friends Jared and Whitney over at Travel Therapy Mentors, they had been putting out some live streams. There were some other bloggers when blogs were still a thing. There was a little bit of social media buzz, but there really wasn't too much out there, or the content that you had was so scattered. I just remember hopping from one influencer to the next, trying to put it all together. But now it seems like in the past 5 years,
there's more information.
It's way more information and a lot more concise, but there's also a lot more people giving it. And so it's kind of nice to have a good resource if you have friends or us that can kind of provide you some answers to what is travel.
Yeah. And why we chose to travel as a new grad was, like Ryan said, we wanted to make sure we actually tried it. We didn't want to get comfortable and be afraid to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone after that year of experience. We also knew as physical therapists, at least, that our schooling had really prepared us to be able to do the job right out of school. We have had some nursing travelers who have said, you know, as a nurse, you really do need 1 year of experience in the field before you travel. And, you know, sometimes nurses have higher stake positions where they're on ER floors and they're managing meds, and it can be really hectic.
Definitely. I think if you're a nurse, I think this is honestly the biggest difference between the therapy professions or allied professions and nursing when it comes to travel is for nurses. I would definitely say do 1 to 2 years of nursing that's not travel to get your feet underneath you.
That's what we've heard from other traveling nurses.
Yeah, that's what we've heard from other travel nurse friends, mostly because I think a lot of the travel jobs are going to be in the ICU, some kind of hectic situations where physical therapy, a lot of the therapy professions, I might overwork you or, you know, stretch you too much, you know, so it's like, you know, I'm not giving you medications. This isn't a life-threatening event most of the time.
And we did get a lot of clinical experience in our education and came out, you know, every new grad feels like an imposter, like they don't know what they're doing. But then you get out and you realize, oh, I really do know a lot more than what I think and a lot more than what the general population knows. And so that was another reason why we chose to travel as a new grad, is we did feel well equipped.
But I would even say, so the therapy professions, I think you can hop right into travel just like us. Nurses, give it 1 to 2 years, get your feet underneath you. And then you're still, after 1 to 2 years, honestly, you're still a new grad. I mean, you still feel that way. But usually after that 1 to 2 years, you kind of have your workflow, and then you can hop into it for a lot of the same reasons we chose to travel as new grads. We wanted to go see places before we started having a family.
I was going to say, what were our other reasons?
Money was a huge one. I mean, we can't forget that. We came out of PT school with so much debt. We have a YouTube video on how much debt we were in. It will just blow your mind. And we were looking at the starting new grad salaries for physical therapists in the St. Louis area, and it was ridiculous. It was
so sad.
I mean, that's what everyone was getting paid. And we could have moved somewhere else and made a little bit more, but it really wasn't that much more, especially when you compared it to our student loan debt. And so we were like, oh my gosh, we got to earn more money fast and try to pay some of this off.
Yeah, but the other perk about being a new grad too was we were already married, but we did not have a family yet. So, and we did not have a house. We did not have strong ties down to St. Louis besides family, which are strong ties for us. But we were kind of in the point in life where we could go travel and see places and kind of be
We were
untied.
flexible. Yeah. We could be very flexible, and that time right out of school can be really beneficial for that. Just like you said, you have no ties. And so like now is the time to go do it and do it for a few years and then reevaluate, get to the situation we're at now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can kind of figure out, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Because it definitely adds more challenges. We travel as a family, but we're not going to lie to you. There's like, it's not easy. There's a lot more you have to
There's just more to think about.
There's more that you have to consider. Not impossible. There's just more you have to consider, to where when we first started, it was just me and you. We were like, what national park do we want to go see? Where are we going to live? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Thinking back to that time before kids and like how hard we went on the weekends to go see places and like how fast we were going and how much energy we had and how much we could hike. I'm like, oh,
I'm telling
to
you guys,
have that again.
when we first
Big
started
wild.
traveling, we had such adventure. Like, we wanted to see everything. We would go every weekend hard. After work on Friday, we were leaving. We were camping in our Prius or our Adventure Sub.
Yeah.
And we were camping
So
so we
fun.
could get, way back in there to national parks and stuff.
I'm pretty sure there were weekends we did like Yosemite and Joshua Tree and Zion, like all in the same month. Like,
oh yeah, when we were
I
at
don't know
our
how
Arizona
it
contract,
how it aligned, but it
we
was
would
like
drive
these
8 hours.
big-
Yeah,
ticking off these big, places to see. And yeah, one of Yosemite was an 8-hour drive, and we just did it in a weekend. I'm like,
but when
I'm
you're on
tired
contract,
just thinking about it.
when you're on contract, you got to go do that. So, I mean, that's why you're doing it. That's
Yeah.
part of it. Yes, you can earn more money. You actually learn a lot of good skills because you're working in different settings and with different therapists or nurses. But you're going for some adventure, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to go. I think
So
what we learned was that we couldn't go every weekend forever. We eventually had to work in like weekends of like rest.
Yes, for ourselves and now for our families.